So, Ron, over the weekend, the Big Ten got even sillier. And to underscore the silliness that is the Big Ten, I want to read for you a press release that was just handed to me hours before this show began, in which we find out exactly what's going to happen in Nebraska if the Big Ten returns to football. They're going to be called not the Corn Huskers, but the Corn Hustlers. This decision will not be up for revote despite whatever better ideas might come. I'm still the law in this town. Signed, Commish. All to underscore, what are they doing? Like, all right, so going into the weekend, they said they were going to have their medical subcommittee make a presentation to the Big Ten task force for the return on football. And then that task force was going to present their findings from the subcommittee's findings to the university chancellors and presidents, who apparently were listening to people talk about the findings of the findings yesterday and today, and may or may not schedule a vote on the return to play Big Ten football. Does that make sense?
I'm glad that they're going through it and having conversations about it, but at this point, it's just a comedy of bureaucracy. That we're going to have a meeting about maybe having a vote, maybe not having a vote, maybe hearing more evidence. I would love for the Big Ten to stick to their guns, but apparently there's some people that have enough of an argument to keep the conversations going, to have more conversations.
And yet they still think that they're going to possibly sort of get football started on October 17th if they got this yes vote. What I find to be really interesting about this is we know where everybody stands on this. We know that you have a bylaw that says you need 60% of the membership to vote for a bill, or a law to be passed. And you ain't got the 60%. As they say, you ain't got the vote. That's the Hamilton line. You ain't got the votes.
I still haven't seen it.
That's cool. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I know. I'm the last person in America. Sorry. One day it'll be my shot.
I dug it. No. Forget that. Don't show up for Lafayette. Don't show up for Thomas Jefferson. Damn sure don't show up for Hamilton. Maybe kind of sort of show up for Aaron Burr, but definitely show up for the King of England. Most righteous and keeping it 100 the whole time. Like, he's the dude showing up with the hoodie on that's all white, talking about, yeah, I'm wearing it. Can you not respect me for wearing it?
Yeah, so this is now a pro King George podcast.
I mean,
get all your King George news here. All your hot King George texts.
I mean, he was right. He was right. Like, what'd he say? Oh, wait a second. Washington you don't want to be king? Oh, all right. I can't wait to see how this goes. You know, and here we are, still quibbling about it, still yelling about it. We talk about a dude that, you know, I'm trying to keep this about football. I really am, but it's hard. It's hard.
Never. So here's yet another twist that 2020 is going to bring is that we've now started the pro Monarch party. We're getting to it. We need yet another side.
This time, let's flip the script and hand it down through not matrimony, matrilineal means, as opposed to patrilineal.
Yeah, mm-hmm. That's a good take. That's absolutely how you started. Just I need more division. Let's get it.
I mean, can we get even more division? You know what we can get? We can get more folks deciding, you know what, to hell with this, I'm going to go do my own thing, which is exactly...
RJ, this is a football podcast.
I was going to say, that's exactly what Shaun Wade has decided to do. See what I did there? Shaun Wade opted out. Shaun Wade opted to go his own way, like Wyatt Davis last week. Now, what I found to be interesting about both of those dudes is not just that they're first-round draft picks, right? One plays defense, one plays offense. Wyatt Davis is a top-rated offensive guard. Shaun Wade is a top-rated cornerback. He wanted to come back to school to win a national championship and to prove that he could play outside corner as opposed to slot corner. Because, like patron Saint Cardale Jones said, I didn't come here to play school. That has never been more true. Because what are you actually doing, right? You're going through practices for a season that probably won't come. So why don't I just take this agent's money to get into shape to do my real job, which is to play football? But even in there, you have guys like Wyatt Davis who have said, yo, if they start playing football soon, I will return to the fold. To which if I'm his agent, I'm like, hey, calm down with that. What am I paying you for? You know, like, I feel some kind of way about that. And all of this is happening with, we still got 2 weeks until the SEC kicks off. Like, I'm just mad at the CYA of all of this. I'm mad that nobody could actually form any sort of consensus, because when has there ever been a consensus formed on college football? It's never happened. It would never happen. I did not expect Ryan Day to nuke his conference on Friday, though. And then I remembered, that's right, you're the head coach at Ohio State. This is your conference to nuke. He's 17-1. He's never not won the conference championship. When before him, Urban Meyer had created a chasm between them and the rest of the Big Ten. And I can think of fates worse than being lorded over by Ohio State, but not a whole lot. Because they're not interested in you. They're interested in them. You serve at their leisure, speaking of monarchies. And I think Kevin Warren missed the memo. Because that's a dude that's coming from the NFL, and he's used to being able to make different sorts of decisions that grown folks just go with. But we got some bizarre, wacky grown folks in college football. That's the only way that it works. Like, we got $10 million head coaches. They ain't got that in the NFL. You know, we don't pay the starting quarterback at Ohio State a damn thing. What you mean you want to pay Jared Goff $110 million to dink and dunk? That doesn't sound like a prudent investment as a college football coach. I don't think that's the kind of thing that we would let happen at Benjamin Banneker University. Or is it college? It's college.
We're going back and forth on that. It might even be A&M. Might be Tech.
Let me have my BBC.
Might be Institute.
I can't. BBI? just
that rolls off the tongue real nice.
Can't have no fun on this show. I'm just saying. They can't have no fun on it. I'm all right. Fine. If you want to be a killjoy in that way, cool. But when our wishbone gets blown up, don't come to me talking about RJ. We need to run a defense to complement the offense. Nah, man. I'm blitzing every down. I'm trying to get the ball back or get you the ball back.
I want you to know I'm putting no less than 50 points on the board every game.
Running wishbone?
Don't put that devil on me.
Ain't no way you get no 50 points a game running no wishbone.
50 every game. So if I got to talk to you because you've given up 51, we'll have some problems.
First of all, Texas Tech is still in the Big 12 doing that. Okay? So it works. We keep our jobs. You know, long as you don't throw nobody in a shed, we're good. I don't know why it's got to come back to my defense, especially if you're putting up 50 a game. With the wishbone. Like, are you running basketball on grass? Is that what you're running? You running shotgun, or you running like for real flex? With like a fullback and everything?
Oh, basketball on grass.
I mean, that's just blackjack then. You're going to be right more often than you're wrong. It's just, you're going to be predictable as hell too. QB power to the right on 3rd and 2. Yeah, I can already see it. Me running down the sideline is the get back coach going to be just yelling. Just yelling. Talk about, yo, man, if I know what's coming, they damn sure know what's coming. I'm the defense coordinator. What are we doing? And then don't let me be the person putting dudes in the NFL and let you be putting dudes at CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Like, that's really going to get on my nerves. Hey, I can make you a first-round draft pick. Well, I can make you the CEO of Tide. Because that's what them dudes that run Wishbone end up doing. Unless you got Calvin Johnson out there. That was also the coldest thing about Georgia Tech at the time. Even Paul Johnson was like, I'm throwing it to Megatron. Damn this. I got 37 running backs. I'm still going to toss it to Megatron. Love watching that dude play.
I said, I have one exception to my game plan, to my philosophy, and that's throwing it to Megatron.
God. And can you... So, Corey Hilliard was the first producer I ever had on a radio show. Corey Hilliard played for 8 years in the NFL as an offensive lineman for Detroit Lions, right? 2-star recruit, made it Oklahoma State, gets a job. And it's one of 2 stories that he told me that I remember. He's talking about Megatron at the Combine. And that story about Megatron showing up without cleats and being handed cleats to run in and saying, nah, I got this. The man ran in shoes that was too small and then dropped 4.4 in the 40 at 6'5", 240. I don't understand. Like, why run it in the first place? Two, how do you run it in shoes that are too small? Not too big, too small. And then, has he ever had a serious injury? I don't think he did.
Not that I remember.
Yeah. And yet here he is just deciding that he's going to play wide receiver. That's also a really big deal. How do you not convince him, to play quarterback, defensive end, any other position where he's got, I would say, more to say about what goes on in the game? Nah, he's like, I'm a wide receiver. Just throw me the ball, watch what I do with it. I got problems with it. And yet, from there, I still got problems with the Big Ten. All right, so I want to trot this out to you, Ron. If they get these logistics under control, and let's say that they vote for a return to football, and they suck for 2 months, and Ohio State catches 2 L's, do you think they're going to try to take it back?
No, because this is what they wanted in the first place. That they're willing to ride or die with the decision to play right now. I can't imagine anybody would be having any regrets right now, because it seems like everybody from the staff to the fans would say, yeah, let's put it on the field. Everybody's wagering that Ohio State's going to run the table if they get to play.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that they're probably right. But if they suck, they say, well, guess what? It's the same excuse that we're all going to use for just about everything for this year. It's like, well, hey, 2020 is weird, isn't it? See you next year.
All right. I want to talk about the Sun Belt as the new overlords of the Big 12. First, I want to do a read. Getting married this year, organizing a corporate function that needs all the trimmings. Who is Mike Jones Event Planning? Mike Jones Event Planning is your premier event coordinating and concierge service. Mike, that's my bad. Please stick with the show. I get it right. Who is Mike Jones Event Planning coordinates and caters events of all sizes, specializing in graduation parties, theme weddings, bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras, and Kwanzaa. Because you never know when you're going to have a Kwame Brown showing up to your house. Who is Mike Jones Event Planning wants to make sure that your event goes off without a hitch, and that means chopped and screwed planning ahead now. So put them H-Town hussies on Front Street. Remember, back then they didn't want you, now you hot, they all on you. To make all your dreams come true, call Who is Mike Jones Event Planning at 281-330-8004. Thank you to the folks at Who is Mike Jones Event Planning. I got an event coming up. I'm going to need their services. I'm sure that they're going to try to cut a man a deal. Ooh, super chat.